You know I'm a hustler, hustler. You know I'm a hustler, hustler.
Welcome to Get Biz, Do Biz, Get Paid. I am your host, Luan the Don. In this show, we're going to interview successful business owners in construction and construction coaches. We're going to find out what it really takes to win in the construction industry, what it really takes to make a lot of money, have a great life, and be able to do the thing that you wanted to do. Enjoy. Hey, it's your boy Luan back again with another episode with one of my good own friend. We kind of started this whole contracting things together. His name is Jorge Chavez, all the way from this sunny and 75 California. Welcome,
Yes,
Jorge.
sir.
Jorge, oh, let's just call you George, man. So,
Yeah, for sure, man. Glad to be on board.
so tell me something I don't know about you.
Yeah, some you don't know about me. I think one is that's a good question, man. I'm not sure if you know or don't know, but I think right now one of my biggest pursuits that I have, which is my why for this whole contracting thing, is eventually to become a pastor. It's been my heart's desire, along with my wife, where we want to be able to position ourselves, financially, make sure our family's taken care of. But our ultimate heart's desire is to be able to help our people, get to know the Lord, help people change their lives. I come from a background of drug abuse, drug addiction, involved with gangs, things like that. Getting expelled, all that lifestyle when I was young to the point where I became suicidal. Um, and it was just a turning point for me when I was 16. I went into a men's rehab home, and that's where the Lord got a hold of my life, had an encounter with the Lord, everything turned around. And, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be where I am today. And of course, not only if it wasn't for the Lord, but also the people that the Lord used, to bring into my life to help me be where I am today. And that's where you're one of those key people, along with Brian, right, Eddie, and other people too in the spiritual aspect, right, church and stuff. So just that's just a little something about me, So I'm a walking miracle, you could say.
Yeah, I feel like most of the, successful business owner came from a shit place. I'm not all of them, but most of them had a somewhat a traumatic experience, and then they are able to receive Jesus' blessing and have a relationship with him, and that's when things are starting to turn around for people because when you have a relationship with God, then you start acting like God. You start living in His image and spreading His gospel, and that's really cool, man. A lot of my interview circle around faith. How to exercise faith and how to develop faith and how to become a better servant to the people, right? And
Yeah.
that's really cool, man. That's one of your passions, become the pastor, because I think we need leaders. We need more leaders, for sure.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
so tell me a little bit about what you're doing right now with your business. Is it kind of slow time in Cali, or you guys still going? I don't know
I,
how the situation out there look.
well, it's kind of like you said, man. What's slow time? What are you talking about? Slow season? What's that?
Right, right, right.
Yeah, no. So I'm based in Pasadena, California, rather in Southern Cali, and I'm a general contractor where we focus on interior remodeling, so bathrooms, kitchens, right, ADUs, additions, things like that. Um, I had shared in a Facebook post just a few days ago about how last December, this is my second year in business, so we just closed off our second year, starting our third. But my first year, right, 2022 December, I had one project booked, and at first I was glad about it, but then it canceled, so I was feeling bad, and that's when I got a message from Brian about his sales training in Vegas, right? So he hits me up on Saturday. Hey, we started Monday. I'm like, shoot, man, this is like our last minute. But I'm one of those type of people like I can't afford not to. An opportunity's there, I can't afford not to. I jumped on it and I'm glad I did. And because of that sales training to date, all of last year sales improved, right? I improved as a salesperson and you know, now we speed up to date because of that. Now we have multiple projects, in our calendars. This whole winter has not been slow for us. Thank God. We've had multiple projects going on, good sized projects. I was actually able to hire people right now in the winter to help me position for this new year. And so we were able to, last year, we doubled on our sales, we doubled on our revenue, on our production. And now we're planning again to double this year to try and shoot for at least 2 million, maybe even 2.5, if things do go according to plan. So that's where we're at right now. Things are going good, thank God, and it's been because of not just the right coaching, implementing, right, executing, just be about it, as you often say.
Yeah, I think it's we give I think we give too much credit to coaches, man. I think it's the person is coaches don't mean shit if you don't execute, right? So you gotta want it
Oh yeah,
for yourself. So give yourself some credit, man. That's all on you. I mean, the coaches get paid. I mean, like they're
yeah,
there as to help guide you, but ultimately the responsibility, your business fall on you, and the reward also fall on you as well. So congrats, man. That's
thanks,
awesome.
man.
So what
Appreciate
would
it,
you,
man.
what would you say that one of those the moment in time where you feel like I can actually build a business? When was that for you?
Mm, that's a good question, man. I think for me, just the type of person that I am, because I love to learn. I'm a learner, right? In any way that I can. Um, I did start getting into, learning how to run a business before I even became a licensed contractor in California. Because for those that don't know, in California, you legally can't do a job if it's above $500 without a license. So, you're very limited. And once I set myself to, get my license, I just began to get educated as much as possible with intention that once I have my license, I'm going to begin to implement right away. And, I think like you said, the key thing is just being an executioner. You have to. Otherwise, you're just investing and throwing time away, throwing money away, wasting other people's time that are investing in you too. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about us, but other people are willing to invest in us. And to a certain point, it's being considerate of that too. You know, Even for me now as a leader, as a business owner, I have some of my guys that because I like to spend time with them and try to help them out even at a personal level. Sometimes I want to do nice things for me, but as a leader, what brings me the most joy is not so much when they want to like gift me with something nice, which is okay. But the biggest blessing and reward for me is when I see their lives improving and their lives changing. And I think that for our coaches, that's one of the desires too, is that they want to see us succeed. They want to see us, thrive and actually scale this thing. They want to see that what they're investing in and everything that they've learned, they're seeing the result of it. And it's frustrating. I mean, when you believe in someone and they just don't get it together, don't do what they're supposed to, sometimes it's just like, hey, you know what, man, as much as I love you and as much as I want to help you, I'm not gonna hold your hand and paint the brush for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do everything for you. And so I think it's just that for me, just be about it, man. Just be an executioner, be a doer. Like I don't know, man. You know me. If you come from the streets, bro, you can't be all talking, no action. You don't put in work. You know what I'm saying? It's just simple stuff, man. Just keep the words short and just do what you gotta do, man. Be about it. That's it.
Yes, I always say the how is already there, right? And most of the time when people don't take action is because the pain is not big enough for them to take action, right?
Yeah.
Because the people are often more likely to take action on pain. And I mean, if the pay's not big enough, if you're just making okay money, enough to
Yeah.
survive, there's not an urgency to execute,
Mm.
to implement, to do this, to do that. And sometimes, like as business owner, we have ADHD, man. Like we can't focus, right? So you get pulled in different direction and things like that. But at the end of the day, as much as you think coaches make a lot of money, they don't. Most of the good
Yeah.
coaches, they do it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
Um, you think about it is they're there because they already done it. Now they want to help. They want to reach back out and pull people up with them, right?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
so I always operate in that mentality that, hey, I'm paying for knowledge. I'm also paying for time because
Mm.
that time, that knowledge is somebody condenses down 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of experience into this little booklet or little course or whatever. So then you still gonna make some mistake, but the mistake is not like, oh shit, I gotta close up shop tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
You may miss about 10, 20% of margin over here, but with a coach, you still be able to recover from those mistake and charge the right
Yeah.
course of action. So I'm always a firm believer in getting in communities, getting around people that already done it, and then model their behavior, right? Be
Yeah.
who be do have,
Exactly.
who you want to be. Okay, what would that person that you wanted to be want to do? And then if you
Mm-hmm.
can do those two things, then you can have the thing that the person you want to be have, right? So
Yeah.
most of the time it's an identity problem. You have to identify as a successful business owner. Now,
Yeah, for sure.
what would a successful business owner do? Well, he probably coming up with a budget right now. Oh shit, I better go do that. What would a
Yeah.
success business owner do? Oh, he probably gonna come up with a marketing budget right now
Yeah.
because it will dictate how many leads he's get. So to be able to meet the budget in his goal. So I should probably do that right now. What would a
Yeah.
success business owner do? Oh, wow, he's probably looking at hiring right now. What
Mm-hmm.
roles do they need? What those roles do what responsibility can they delegate, and
Yeah.
what attribute do they need for this position, and where do they going to
Mm-hmm.
advertise that? How can they communicate their company value to these candidates? Because what would a successful business owner do? They don't hire B players.
Exactly. You know,
So
along those lines, Luan, it just reminded me right now, one of the questions that we kind of wanted to dive into, which you mentioned in a Facebook comment, right, was about things that move and don't move the needle, right? So for you, what would you say are some of those things that don't move the needle in your business?
So the thing that really don't move the needle is what I call the managing anything that is maintained, right?
Mm,
Managing, right? Any $10 task, $50 task, and
mm,
at a certain size, even $100 task. So if you entering data, it's not
mm-hmm.
good. You need to hire
Yeah,
somebody to enter data for you, right?
nice.
You need to if you're answering phone, that's probably not a good use of your time. Your time need to be spent on closing qualified appointment. Or if
Mm,
you at a certain size, training sales guy, right? Or production, is
mm-hmm.
the job already sold, money already in the bank. You need to hire somebody to do that so you have time to go and do revenue generating activities,
There you
right?
go. Mm-hmm.
You can argue that production is one of those needle moving because you need cash
Mm-hmm.
to circle. So production is important too. And you can't just, leave do sale and production. So that the construction is unique like that. There's it's not a digital product. You don't just sell and have customer service, right? You
Yeah.
sell and then there's a client experience and you produce and then you have to close the job out and collect the money.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
so the thing that moved the needle is uh marketing,
Mm.
sales, recruiting,
Mm-hmm.
collection,
Nice.
right? So if you can do those four things repeatedly, if you do marketing right, you never run out of lead to sell. You do sales right, you can sell a high margin with a
Mm-hmm.
big net profit. So you can
Yeah.
reinvest back into the company to get more money to hire more production, right?
Yeah.
You hire
Mm-hmm.
more to hire another and then to focus on recruiting. So,
Yeah.
so everything start from the beginning is you want to move the needle, you want to grow, you got to sell
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I call needle moving, right? Because
Moving the needle. Mm-hmm.
production, you just get what yours. You just it's already in the books. They already signed a contract. You
Yeah,
get
yeah.
what's yours. But to move the needle is marketing, is sales, is recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're leveraging other people to do the job for you, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So
That's where the question comes in is the who, not how, right?
yeah,
So
and
that's what you're
so
referring to is getting the right people.
and then system SOP, because you can come up with a system one time and then you can leverage other people to grow
For
the
that
system.
system. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, if you still and then every business is different, right? But most likely I would say that marketing, sales, recruiting.
Marketing says recruiting, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've noticed, especially when it comes to being an entrepreneur and really starting a business, is that in the beginning phases of your business, you have to be willing to make a few sacrifices so that you can invest in the right people and the right systems and get them in place. Sometimes we want to have a mentality of I have a business and I'm gonna start like banking already. I'm going to start, making all this money. And, not that it's not possible. Of course it can, but you have to be really that, you know what, until I get the right systems in place with the right people so that I can get myself out of the field, out of the tool belt, be able to continue to scale this thing. In the beginning, it's going to be, just the phase of paying the price, paying the
right,
price, working hard, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we work, smarter, not harder. But when you're an entrepreneur, you have to pay the price of hard work. That's just the bottom line. Nobody's going to put in the work for you. And, you can, how does Brian say, right? You get what you get, don't throw a fit. If you ain't putting in the work, if you're not paying a high price, then don't expect high results. That's just the bottom line. You have to be willing to make some sacrifices, right? Sometimes when it comes to being a business owner, and I've been there where, yeah, I wish I could have been out doing this, but then sometimes things happen because we're just not where we want to be yet. But once those situations do happen, unfortunate situations and scenarios come up, that's where right away we need to start thinking, okay, what do I need to do or who do I need to put in place so that this doesn't happen anymore and I don't find myself in that situation again. And some of these things we're gonna learn as we go, you know what I mean? But it's just, part of that in the beginning is even I would even say be able to like not take so much of the pie so that you can have the right people, which eventually will get you to be able to take care of yourself a little bit better as the owner, as the main business person. And yes, we're contractors, right? But we gotta step out of that mentality of just being a contractor to being a business owner and someone that develops people and systems. You know what I mean? I think that's a mentality shift that we oftentimes struggle with. I'm not just a contractor. I'm a business owner and I need to think different now.
Yeah, that's a good point, man, which is we can talk about this all day, but I think the hardest time in the first couple of years, man, when you everything to everybody, right?
Hmm.
So throughout that time, you would know, and this is, I'm speaking from experience. The only thing that will move the needle through those times is sales.
Hmm.
You want to hire sales.
Hmm.
You want more people work sales. You want
Yeah.
money sales. You want to get out of field sales. Sales,
Hmm.
sales, sales,
Yeah.
sales. So for for the beginner, if you can't sell, you gotta get somebody to do sales.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
I had guests that come on podcasts that they go the other way. They were a
Hmm.
producer and they hire salespeople and they running 13, $14 million empire that,
Hmm.
do a really good net percentage, but then they never do sales. So
Yeah.
it can happen, if you don't want to learn sales, that's fine. Hire a sales guy. He gonna cost money,
Hmm.
and you're gonna have to manage him. So either way, you're gonna have to learn the numbers. You know, you
Yeah, that's for sure.
cannot you cannot get away from the numbers. So the
Oh
budget,
man.
the number,
Don't get me started on that right now.
the numbers, the numbers basically in construction, every job is a business
Yeah.
opportunity, right? So if you can get the job costing on every job right, the whole thing will
Hmm.
shake out.
Hmm.
But if you don't
Yeah.
do it, you never know what you're gonna get,
You
right?
never know.
You
Yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
you're flying in the dark, so
Hmm.
financials is important too. So
Yeah. On
so
on
my
that note, Lou, on financials, that's something that I've come to find out, not just in businesses or even contracted, but just individuals in particular. When it comes to finances, managing finances, being a steward with finances, this is one of those things where not only is it a biblical principle, right, in the Word of God, but it's a life principle that if you cannot handle the little bit, if you cannot manage the little well, you're not going to be trusted with more. And that's where sometimes people, they want more, they want to receive more, they want more work, they want more money, they want more this, more that, whatever. But they can't handle the little bit well. They can't manage it well. And you're not going to be trusted with more if you can't handle the little bit well, right? And so that's one of the things that for some of my friends that have come on board to be business owners, even if they're not contractors in the food industry, whatever, I always tell them, you know what, just one is read profit first. That's one thing right off the bat, because you got to learn how to manage your money. If you don't, then you're going to be part of that 96% of construction companies that shut down within 5 to 10 years, right? And the number one reason is because they don't know their financials. Like you mentioned, they don't know their budgets. Eventually it's just you have to know your numbers. You have to. But managing finances, knowing, what you have coming in, what you need to make, where the money needs to go is just crazy important, because if you don't, you're going to find yourself getting into debt and more debt and more debt, even to the point where you're going to discourage yourself and just feel like, should I even keep doing this? Is this even worth it anymore? And it all comes down to, again, knowing your numbers, right? That's a non-negotiable, man. That just can't. I just don't see how any business could scale if they just can't handle their money well, manage it well. Now, I'm not saying once you get your money, you pay yourself, do what you got to do, but within the business, like, you need to be on top of your financials. If you're not doing that right now, job costing, what is each job producing you? That alone right there, that's going to cause you, if you don't keep track of that, your future jobs, you're probably going to overbid them. And what happens if you overbid them and you can't sell means if you would have known your price accurately, they probably would have given you the job. And on the other hand, if you underbid them, then you're going to find yourself, you got the job, but then you're not really profiting much. or maybe you're barely even profiting anything. And all because you're not being consistent with your job costing, right? And then you don't know how many jobs you need per month because you don't do your budgets, you don't do your numbers, right? And so all these different things is just one of those principles that people need to understand. Like, hey, if you want to be trusted with more in life, then what you have right now, you need to take care of it well and manage it well.
Oh,
But if you don't do that right now, don't complain
damn.
if you just don't get trusted with more, right? And in scripture, I could take you to scripture, but again, and this doesn't apply just for me, like I'm a believer, I'm a Christian. This doesn't apply to Christians. I see this principle applied in everybody, even people that don't believe in God or don't know God or whatever. This applies to anyone. That's why you see so many people that, they may be from other denominations, religions, or walks of life, but because they know how to handle their money and how to make financial decisions and how to handle it well, they're thriving, they're growing. People trust them with more because they know how to handle this stuff. Whereas on the other hand, you have people that, man, they can't even handle $10,000, and before they know it, it's already spent and they don't even know what happened to it. And you're just not going to grow. It's just not going to happen. But that principle though doesn't apply just to money. It applies to anything. If you don't handle and take care of your family well, then there's a risk where you could lose your family. If you don't provide for your family well, they're not going to sit around and wait for a miracle to happen. They're depending on you as the man, as the head of the person. And I know there's some women that are also leaders in the home, single mothers, but our families are depending on us to be those people that step up and handle our business and be responsible and take care of these things. And if we can't use that excuse of, well, I was never in business before. Well, neither were we. That's where you cut the excuses, you learn. I mean, it's 2024, homie. You got resources left and right everywhere, YouTube, Google, you got people, there's just no reason for any excuse to exist for us to say we can't make it happen. I just don't believe in that. I can't roll with people that think that way. Like it's just not like I don't feel you, homie. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not at that level because I know where I came from. I know many more of the people where they came from. And I remember when you and I first connected back in Denver, one of the first conversations that we started talking about was how your injury, your leg injury, my dad's leg injury, both of you guys went through like the same thing. And for you, that was like an eye opener. You didn't let that hold you back. People go through things, but you're going to determine, what are you going to do about it? Is that going to, just make you shut down and I'm just going to live a normal life and I'm going to settle for this? Or like you said, there's going to come a pain. And for a lot of us, including myself, one of those pains is taking care of our families, making sure that they're doing well, making sure that they're fed, that our boys grow to be, fat and blessed and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But just to me, as a business owner, man, and if this is the life that you chose to come into, you got to cut excuses out of your life, man. That shouldn't even be in our language. You know what I'm saying? I I hate excuses. I don't give people excuses. And one of the things that I like about the culture, and the people that we surround ourselves with, is that we own our crap. You know what I'm saying? We take responsibility for it. And not only that, but then now, okay, what are we going to do about it now? What is the next step to take care of this now? You know what I'm saying? And that's just how you develop your character. That's how you develop your habits, keep them consistent. And then that's how eventually you become a new person. You become a person that you didn't think you could be, a different version of yourself, because you're also surrounding yourself with the right people who speak your language, or at least speak the language that you eventually want to speak, that live the life and the culture that you eventually want to live. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, new year, new me. Nah, man, you just gotta cut some old people, surround yourself with new people. That's a start. And then, just start letting your life change. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, yeah. But I mean, I'm just, sharing my heart, man. Just some of the things that I've noticed.
So what I hear from that is, you know, a get it done mentality, right? Whatever it is,
Absolutely.
the problem that you put in front of us, the problem that was put in front of us is we gotta go solve it, and this all relate back to the strong why, right? Why? Why you want to do
Mm-hmm.
it? Why?
Mm.
Because the why will carry you to the tough time. The why, the vision will
Yeah.
carry you to the hard time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
we are always apt to do more for others than for us. So if you can tie your why to others people, it's usually create a stronger why and a stronger motivation uh,
Mm-hmm.
to get it done. That's just universal. And I mean, there's some crazy people out there that they owe me, which is that fine. Wherever you can find your why, wherever you
Mm-hmm.
can find that little motivation, wherever you can find this the little something that tick you off. Maybe somebody say some shit back in the day when you were 12 that, hey man, you're never gonna amount to anything. Use
Yeah.
that as fuel, as
Yeah.
sources to, like, when you stress out coming up with a budget, or when you're trying to make payroll, or when you have no lead coming in. Those are the kind of thing that gonna motivate you to get up, go knock some doors, go make some phone call,
Mm-hmm.
do everything, because the reality is this: the game's easy right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been telling people that the game's easy right now. And if you don't
Mm-hmm.
maximize the game right now, it's not going to be easy forever. Things are going to slow
Mm-hmm.
down. I'm not saying it will, but historically speaking, things are gonna, change. And we live in the golden age of contracting right now. We are in demand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that every problem is an opportunity for me to learn something, for me
Mm-hmm.
to do something about it. Uh, because short-term problem are long-term blessing if you can get through it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I completely agree with you, man. Right now, I mean, if you just do the things that we know we should be doing and implementing, and then of course you got to have a little bit of patience, right? Even when we talk about marketing and building up your rankings in your area and all that stuff. If you just do, right, what some of the experts that we have around are recommending and suggesting and emphasizing to do, and then be patient about it. I mean, eventually it's like the leads are looking for you. They're not looking for the companies. They're hearing about you. They're calling you first. They want to come to you. They want to work with you. And that makes the sale even just that much easier. You know what I mean? And so yeah, if you're just doing the right things, providing the good customer experience, a whole journey, right? Quality of work, of course, having a top-notch team where you're constantly investing in your team, in your guys, and letting them know that you care for them and you want to see them live better lives. They'll get behind you. If they know that you really care about them and you take care of them, they'll get behind you, making sure they take care of the business too. And it's just, it is easy to do this thing right now if you just do and execute what we're supposed to be doing in the first place. Absolutely, man. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, so you mentioned client experience. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, client experience. One of the things that what we do when we have our appointments, rather consultations, is always asking the clients what are some of the top three most important things for them when it comes to hiring a company, or top few things that they want us to keep in mind for the duration of the project. What are things that are important to you? And one of the things that I've come to find out as the top is usually always communication. Communication. Almost everybody says communication, right? And that is calling back if they're trying to get a hold of you, text them. You have to be proactive, not reactive when it comes to customer experience, and take care of them before they're even asking to be taken care of. Let them know what's the plan for the project. Let them know when you guys are going to be there, how many guys are going to be there. Set out a schedule. This is what the project is going to look like. This is what we're aiming for, right? And then of course developing relationships, where at times we don't just talk about business, we don't just talk about the project, we end up talking about a favorite football team. Sometimes we end up talking about our kids and families, developing relationships with them outside of just the business, just the project, right? Taking care of them at the end of the year, send out some nice gifts to them, if it's mugs and thank you cards, little things like that. even every now and then, one of the things that I like to do when I'm in the neighborhood, I'll stop by one of their house to say hi, how they're doing. I'm not, trying to pitch a sale or trying to get another job. No, I'm just there, just hey, how are you guys doing? How the kids? I was in the area, just wanted to stop by and say hi to you guys real quick for a few minutes. Then most of them invite me to come into the house, and we start talking a little bit more, and then they bring up the project. I don't even bring anything up. You know what I mean? And so then of course with your team, that's another big one too, is how does your team communicate with the customer when you're not there, right? Do they take care of them? Do they also have like a friendly personality, make conversation with them at times? And teaching your team also how to know even this, know when to cut conversation with the client, because they want to make sure they stick to the production time that we budgeted for. So all that stuff, and most of our clients, they've loved us. Thank God, we have 5-star reviews. Even after some things, go wrong or something malfunctions, I'll tell them my goal is to be there within the first 3 days to take care of you. If I can have someone that very same day to take care of this issue, I have them out there. And most of the time I do, even if I'm not in town, right? But then again, because you've developed a team of people that you show them love, you care for them, you're being a leader to them, they want to be there for you. And when you need something, I've had people that they're willing to jump on things at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Hey, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Our project manager, man, his birthday was on Saturday, this past Saturday. We needed to get some rough plumbing finished, right? Ready for concrete pour. He's out there on Saturday on his birthday. He's like, hey, you know what, George? Don't take care of it, man. Enjoy your family. I know you're out of town. I'll make this happen. He grabs one of the guys and gets it done. I'm like, all right, man, I wasn't expecting you to. You could have waited till Tuesday, but when you take care of them, they'll take care of you. You know what I'm saying? And then what does that do for the customer? They're like, oh wow, they showed up on a Saturday, and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, taking care of me, and they're having a good experience. Then we show up on Tuesday, even yesterday, New Year. Homie was over here getting things done and moving and delegating. And I told him, like, hey, bro, you don't have to. You can take the day off. He goes, no, man, I'm good, man. I want to make sure I get things in place and get them ready. What does that do? Having the right people like that is that it really hits home for our clients, the customer experience. We're taking care of them. And that's another one of the things that most people look for is a company and a contractor that can really take care of them and be there for them when they need them. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? They already
mm,
know we're definitely not on the lower end. We're definitely
mm,
not the cheapest.
mm,
Maybe occasionally we might be in the middle, but for the most part, reality is twice as expensive compared to other quotes that they get.
mm,
Nevertheless, they decide to move forward with us. Why? Well, one, because like you mentioned, we've learned sales. You have to learn sales. If you can't learn sales to sell at the margin you want to
mm.
sell, oh, bro, you're going to be struggling. But then even after that, then after you talked it, then you got to back it up. This is why, we are what we are. We provide, just premium service and relationships and the whole experience. We want to make sure we take care of you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, customer experience, man, it goes a long way. And then from there, we've had one person, man, they've given us so much work just off of one client. Had a great experience with us, finished the project in time, within the budget. Like they were wowed by it. They've gotten us so much work already just because of focusing on customer experience. Just take care of them.
Yeah, so what you just say right there is what I call branding. You just getting your names out there. That's what
Mm,
branding is. You're building a reputation, and then you make sure everybody aware of your reputation. That's
mhm,
literally is what branding is. It's what people talk about you when you're not in the room, right? So
mm,
that's a saying that you only have to learn sales if you don't know how to market.
mm,
You only have to learn how to market if you don't have a good product. And the
mm,
client experience is, to me, in the construction industry, that's the products.
mm,
That's if you have a good product, then you mentioned earlier, people are coming back to you. Why is
mhm,
that?
mhm,
Because George is the fucking man. And CB Remodels got a bunch of cool fucking guys. That's why they
mhm.
call you, man. They don't call you because you can get their kitchen done. They call you
Yeah.
because they know you're gonna go in there and you're gonna wow them. And just like you wow the neighbor across the street, just like you wow somebody at their church, just like you wow. So it's,
Yeah.
it's serving the communities, right? So that's if there is one thing, and it's not just one thing, right? There is one
Yeah.
thing that can really move the needle long term. We're talking about 3, 5 years down the road. It's the client
Mm-hmm.
experience. It's your
Mm-hmm.
book of business. Hey, the job is done. What else are you gonna do for them? Are you checking in on them? Are you sending
Mm-hmm.
them gift? Are you sending them handwritten letter? Are you
Yeah.
and 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 when I mean gifts, not just hey, send them CB shirt. No, it's that they don't want that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's kind of defeat the gifting purpose, right? You just
Mm-hmm.
send gift and then ask for referral. Again, that's not what the definition of giving is. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
so you do that or you not, or you just collect the check and be done with the gas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that is because everything else, marketing wise, is a linear path. But if you can
Mm-hmm.
get your brand right, it's go parabolic because one tell two, tell four, tell eight, tell 16, and you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
the
There you go.
best marketing is when you don't have to do it.
There you go.
Because then who you gonna believe more, George? Me, the owner of that grows, and that grows a five-star company, or your neighbor?
Your neighbor.
The it's just the way people make decision, man.
Yeah.
They gotta see that the neighbor or somebody else already use them. So in my opinion, the client experience is everything, and
Yeah.
that's not just externally, internal too.
Mm-hmm.
Because your employees are your client, your subs is your client. So
Mm-hmm.
the experience had to be seamless inside and outside of the
And
organization.
outside. Yeah. And the
Right.
thing is that nowadays, if even if you get a little bit of some sales training, and even that question alone can set you up for so much success when you ask what are some of the things that are important for you in the company that you're looking to hire. That alone, they're gonna give you the answers of what's gonna make you stand out from other contractors I've worked with in the past, from other companies I've worked with in the past. I mean, they're giving you like they're telling you if you want my business, this is how. That's what they're telling you. And if you want me to, you know, promote you and refer you and give you business in the future, this is how. And it's like they're handing it to you. Now it's just a matter of fulfilling it. It's that easy, really. But of course, there's much more involved in sales. But that one question right there, if for those of you that are hearing this, if you can just keep in mind every appointment you go to, every consultation, hey, Mary, just out of curiosity, what would you say are some of the things that are important for you in the company that you want to hire to take care of this project for you? What are maybe just three things that you could share with me? Right? Mary and John, whoever's there. Okay, yeah. Oh, how do you mean? How do communication? How do you mean by that? What's good communication for you? Oh, well, there's this and that. Okay, and make sure you write it down. Take notes, because then you're gonna forget. If you're a business owner, you got so much going on in your mind, you're gonna forget. Take notes, and then when you have the right team, those notes pass them over to your team. Make sure
Right.
that they know this is what we're shooting for. This is what's gonna make them happy and them be well. This is how we're gonna sweep them off their feet. It's that simple. It's not like you said. It's easy. Excuse me. Sometimes we just tend to complicate things.
Right. And uh and that's so important to build that reputation too. And like you say, um you gotta have good people as well. So there's a lot of things that the business owner need to do, construction business owner need to do in the first few years of starting. So
Yeah.
what is what is the best advice you ever received, and what is the worst advice you ever received? What was that for you?
Mm. The best advice and the worst advice I've ever received. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Am I gonna really make me think deep on this? um, I think let me see. I would probably say that along with some of that best advice that I've ever received, um, has always had to do with the relationships part, who you're surrounding yourself with, who you're networking with. Um, because you know how that saying goes, like if you're surrounded by four idiots, you're gonna become the fifth. But if you're surrounded by four wise people, you're gonna become the fifth wise person. And so I think that's very, very key is who you're surrounding yourself with, who you're constantly communicating yourself with. And if you're surrounded by a group of winners and champions and top performance people, and then you disconnect from them for about a month or 2 months, and then you just surround yourself with other people that are not in their level, their category, even you're gonna find yourself, your habits change, your mentality, your language, because it begins to adjust with the new people or the old group of people that you used to surround yourself with. So I think that's gonna be one of my top things for me because it just changes your mentality, it changes your attitude, it changes your belief system. And if you're able to change and adjust your belief system, that's going to change the way you live, the way you take action, the way you walk, everything, the way you talk, the way you think, everything. I would say that's probably some of like the best advice I've received is the networking, who you surround yourself with, right? The people closest to you. As far as the worst advice, oh man, there's a handful of those. I would say as far as worst advice is if someone is not where you want to be, I don't want to say don't listen to them. Be respectful, of course. But you know what I'm saying. If you're not at 5 mil and you're lower than I am, why am I gonna listen to you? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just common sense stuff. Be respectful, yeah. And I'm a type of person where I don't completely, shine them off. Like I'll keep in mind, I'll think about it. Like, all right, I'll keep it in mind. Okay, cool. Meditate on it. If there's some truth to it, all right, maybe that's a good point. But for the most part, like, hey, you know what, homie, I appreciate you, but if I don't see the success in your life, if I don't see the fruit and the results in your life, why am I going to follow you? Why am I going to listen to you? Sounds a little
Mm,
cold, but it's just the bottom
mm,
line. How are you going to
mm.
be a fitness coach trying to teach me how to get a six pack? And homie, you over here got a nice, you still got your dad bod. You know what I'm saying? I got a dad bod. I need to get out of the dad bod. You see what I'm
So,
saying?
so what? So I'm gonna summarize this to the listener. Basically, get around the people that are already at the level you want to be at. And the second thing is don't listen to motherfucker that doesn't have what you have. Right?
There's,
That's because most people they want to give advice, man. People are better advice giver than doer. Like
oh,
I
say that
can
again. Say that again. Say that again one more time for those in the back.
people are better advice giver than a doer, right? Of
Mm,
the own advice that they give. So most people are gonna try to give you advice, but only take consultation from the people that have already done it and have
there
already
you go.
taken somebody out there. Because
There you go.
sometimes there's people that already done it, but they haven't taken anybody there yet because
Mm,
they don't have the skills and the patience to see some of the problem through, right? Teaching is a whole nother level of skills, right? Um, and um, and the don't listen to anybody doing less than you. It's not if you if you in business and you listen to a business owner doing less than you, their advice will not apply to you. I'm not saying that a bad advice. It
hmm
might be true, but like for a guy at $5 million right now, I can't listen to a $3 million guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's just the advice do not apply. So
hmm
but I can't go and ask a $50 million guy what to do because his advice is so high level and
hmm
the time horizon is bigger, so it's not really applicable to me,
hmm
right? So if I'm at five, I'm gonna go to the 8 and the 10 guy. Hey man, what the fuck are you doing that I'm not?
There you go. Yeah.
you know, and then sometimes it costs money to get in touch with those guys. It costs
Yeah.
money to get in touch with me right now, because
Hmm.
I'm not saying that to be discouraging to people, but we do have a business to run, and our
Yeah.
times are valuable, and all the time need to be accounted for. And to be honest, if you just want to pick my brain, you know, show me your pocket,
Yeah.
you know.
For
But
sure.
but anyway, that's really good advice, man. And then you know, uh I'm gonna lead you with last question. What are some of the things that are most important to you when looking for a coach, George? What are a few things? What's that for you?
When I'm looking for a coach,
Yep.
that's a really good one, man. And I think you just nailed it right now, is that they have a proven track record of taking others where they want to go. Because nowadays, as we know, I mean, social media is just flooded with so many coaches, life coaches and fitness coaches and construction coaches and business coaches. Those are coach for everything. You know what I'm saying? But the thing here is that, do they have the record? Have they taken other people to a better place in their life? You know what I'm saying? That's just basically what it comes down to. So when I'm looking for a coach, that's what I'm looking for is, does this person, have they done this multiple times? Do they know why you do certain things and why not do certain things? Or are they just guessing it, just winging it? Let's just see what happens. And some of them, they'll even say, well, I have, 250 business owners scale to 5 million or 10x or whatever. But then you don't know any of their, disciples, any of the people that they work with, anybody that they raise. Like, give me names, let me see how their people are really doing. Because here's a good one that you brought up. I was taught, if you want to see if a person is growing, you look at their personal life, right? But if you want to see if a leader is growing, then you look at the people under them. And if the people under them are not growing, then that's because the leader's not growing. The leader doesn't know how to get them where they need to go. And so that's what I look at when I see a coach, is if a coach is really being successful and doing what he's supposed to be doing, then look at the people that are under him. Is he
Oh,
helping them move forward? Is he helping them
oh,
get to the next level? Is he helping them transform and be a different person and change their mentality? And that's
oh,
just the bottom line. You can argue all you want about methods and strategies and tactics and whatever. You cannot argue with results. You can't argue with fruit. If it's there, what are you going to say about it? If
yeah.
people are at another level next year than they were the year before, what is there to argue about it? You know what I'm saying? That's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking for when I look for a coach, a leader, is that, you know what I'm saying? Are the results there? Is the fruit there?
Yeah. And another thing is their heart in it.
There you go.
Is do they have hearts? You know, um, and then at the end of the day, you don't have to do anything, right?
Hmm.
None of this
Yeah.
shit matter anyways. You don't have to do anything, but then you can't complain that, oh, hey, George is making money over there. I'd like to get me some of that. If you are envious of other people's result, then you
Mm.
need to go out there and go get yours.
Oh man. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, that
yeah,
that thing, man, I don't know how, people just want to be envious and jealous of others. Like, man, just be happy for people, man. They came up from the slums, man. They came up from the struggle. They've been through things, man. Be happy for people that, they're doing something about their life and their family. You know what I'm saying? It's not a competition to try to be better than you. I tell people I ain't competing with no one, man. I'm competing with myself. I'm trying to be better than who I used to be. If you take it as a competition against me, bro, you got your own motives, your own reasons, whatever, you got going on over there. Me, on the other hand, man, I'm happy you're thriving. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I'm happy that, your family's doing better, you're doing better, and if opportunity comes up for people to work together, then, hey, you know what, let's make it happen. But
yeah,
yeah, the whole competing thing, there's enough dough for everyone, more than enough dough for everyone. You know what I'm saying? Way more than enough. So, but yeah, man, I feel you on that one.
All right, man. And with that, we're out, man.
You know I'm a hustler, hustler. You know I'm a hustler, hustler.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in. If you find this episode helpful or if it changed your life in a positive way in any manner, please share with another friend, tell another friend about this podcast, or even contact me if you're a construction business owner that have a great story to tell. Please do contact me. Again, thank you. Until next time.
I see him on the gram while they flexing rubber bands. I'm working on my foreign exchanges.